spending money that you don't have to buy things that you don't need, to impress people that you don't know and don't even like. That is a sad life. Achieving financial freedom is a journey, and that journey is one that cannot be accomplished without discipline. Yes, financial literacy is very important, but it comes with knowing how to be disciplined and avoiding lifestyle creeps. A lot of people derail their financial journey because they fall into the lifestyle creep, also known as lifestyle inflation. So as they move up in income, their spending also grows, and it grows in the ways of discretionary spending rather than savings, investments, and even buying assets. And I'm talking about true assets, not like upgrading your car. And because people fall into this pitfall of overconsumption and lifestyle creep, it derails them from real financial freedom. So let's talk about it. Hello everybody, and welcome back to my channel. And if this is your first time here, hello, welcome. This is Essential Patience, and I am Patience. And on this channel, we have discussions about society's impacts on our lives and our finances, and how we can take back that power to make more intentional decisions and live our lives in an intentional way that will put us on the path towards financial independence and financial freedom. And if that sounds good to you, be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and ring the notification bell so you do not miss out on any of my future videos. Let's dive straight in this conversation, the pitfalls of overconsumption and lifestyle creep. It is really important that we understand the concept of lifestyle creep and lifestyle inflation. They're used interchangeably. So if you hear me say lifestyle inflation, lifestyle creep, they mean the exact same thing. But learning what it means, how it shows up in our lives, often in a very subtle way, in a short span. Now, if you look at your life in terms of what it was several years ago versus now, it is more clear and you probably can recognize it. You just probably may not know the term to put on there as to how you've come so far, but not in your savings. That term is lifestyle creep because it literally creeped up on you. And with this lifestyle inflation, a lot of people fall in these pitfalls where they're inflating their material life but never their savings and bank account. So let's talk about the missed opportunities that occur when we fall into the trappings of lifestyle creep, and how we can identify lifestyle creep, and most importantly, solutions to ensure that we are prioritizing important financial goals and actually reaching them rather than falling into lifestyle inflation. So what is lifestyle creep and lifestyle inflation? Let's take a look at the actual definition. So lifestyle creep, also known as lifestyle inflation, occurs when an increase in income leads to spending higher on non-essential goods and services rather than saving and investment. For example, upgrading to luxury brands, dining out more frequently, or moving to a more expensive neighborhood simply because now you can afford it and you make more money. And that's not to say you cannot upgrade your life. It just talks about moderation and making sure that as you're upgrading your life, you're also upgrading your savings accounts and your investment accounts. While enjoying the fruits of your labor is essential, and we should all practice that, when lifestyle creep goes unchecked, you'll be missing out on important financial goals such as paying off all of your debt, having a fully funded emergency fund, home ownership, and saving for retirement. And before you know it, you've been making a great amount of money for many years and you have nothing to show for it. You can go watch my video on the 72 or maybe even 73-year-old woman who was now thinking about retirement. She had about $12,000 left to pay off on her student loans. She didn't own a home and she had no retirement with the exception of her Social Security. And now she's paying $2,000 per month to quickly get rid of her student loan debt. Mind you, she's been making this income for a while. For many years, she could have afforded to pay off her student loans with the quickness that she's doing now at 73. And she could have also saved for a house, she could have saved for retirement, but she waited till literally 73 years old to do so. And she is an example of the opportunity cost of overspending. So let's talk about it. When you allow lifestyle inflation to overtake you and you're overspending on frivolous items such as indulging in all kinds of food, dining out always, you're indulging in the newest car, upgrading every technology in your house, phones, computers, having a 200-inch television, buying designer clothes and shoes and purses. All of that comes with a significant consequence over time. One being not prioritizing your retirement savings. And one of the most important retirement savings is the Roth IRA. You can only contribute up to $7,000 of after-tax money every year. That is what it is for this year, but it wasn't that always. It used to be $6,500 back in 2023, I believe. And then back in 2022, it was $6,000. And a few years before that, it was $5,500. But what I'm trying to say is that if you miss the train of being able to contribute this after-tax money, that's at the age of 59 and a half, you would not have to pay any taxes on the growth. The longer you wait in contributing to this account because you're spending frivolously on everything else, you are missing an opportunity to grow money that will be tax-free in the future. It's an individual retirement account that you get to keep no matter who your employer is. Your employer doesn't have to offer it because it is something that you can open on your own at any place that offers a Roth IRA. So you're missing that opportunity. You're also missing the opportunity to contribute to your 401k, especially if you're not at least contributing to your employer match, but instead blowing everything. This means that not only are you losing out on the money that you could have contributed and having grow so that you can access at the age of 59 and a half, but you are also missing out on the current tax deductions that could have helped you and whatever contributions your employers are going to give you as a match. So let's say, for example, you're making $70,000 per year and your employer matches 10% of your base salary, $7,000. And instead of you contributing, you are spending all of that money. So not only are you missing out on the tax deductions that you could have had on your federal income, where if you had contributed $7,000, instead of having to pay taxes on $70,000, you'd have had to pay on $63,000. Also, you're leaving money on the table, $7,000 that your employer would have been matching. Each year, you are losing out on $14,000 of retirement savings. And let's say you do this for a decade between the ages of 23 and 33. You've missed out not only on the $140,000, and this is stabilizing your income. Probably made more. You could probably be making over $100,000 by now. So you're missing out on way over $140,000, but you're also missing out on the compound interest. That's your money would have doubled approximately every 7 years. So in that account, with the growth in the stock market, when invested into, say, the S&P 500 and the growth of your income over those years, you're probably missing out on well over $300,000. Next is home ownership. If you're not saving for a house, and you're rather spending the money on renting a more expensive apartment, you're internally saying no to home ownership because you're going to have to save for a down payment on a house. And especially if you're digging yourself into debt and you are spending way above your income, what you're inevitably doing is delaying home ownership for a long while. I see people who are talking about home ownership is so unrealistic. And this lady called, she made 6 figures, her husband made 6 figures, and she said they were angry about the fact that they just don't see how possible home ownership was in their future living in Pennsylvania. And I just remember the comments, people being like, how is a household income of over $200,000 complaining about not being able to tap into home ownership? And that was because of the lifestyle that they were living and choices that they had also made, and the fact that they had about 6 figures in student loan debt. They just did not have money in their budget to save for down payments according to them.
Being a homeowner feels so unattainable for me in a reasonable amount of time. Student loans, childcare, and rent.
28 years old, you're about to have 2 kids. What's the childcare?
For one, it's $1,500, but in October, it's going to be $3,000. My husband and I are both engineers. We take home a little over $12,000. Unfortunately, because we're both engineers, we both got stuck with student loans because I was 18 years old. Well, what's left is $100,000. I just went under $100K. I've been told, if you do everything in this order, things will work out. Angry that I can't get what I want, essentially.
There you go.
So in the Pittsburgh area, most places for rent that we're seeing that's bigger than what we're currently living in is probably $2,500. I think I just do whatever my company matches, 5 or 6%.
Yeah, what's your annual take on both of you?
250 to 60,
okay.
Maybe.
You guys make didn't we?
Once we look at everything, we're like, wow, we are nowhere near where we thought we would be with this.
As I reviewed their finances from a distance, not knowing the details, I still saw a lot of missing money that pointed to lifestyle inflation. Because while there are very expensive places all over the country, Pennsylvania is not even in the top 10 most expensive states. So they can definitely afford a home out there. Next is emergency fund. If you are too busy spending all of your money, you are not taking time to build a fully funded 6-month emergency fund, which you should. And an emergency fund is the safety net of your entire financial foundation. And if you go without having one, any type of unforeseen bill can come and derail your finances. And if you're already spending well above your income, where are you going to get that money from to support yourself when you actually need it? So every dollar that you choose to spend on unnecessary items is every dollar that you choose to not put into long-term investments and saving for things that would actually benefit your life in the long run. So how do people fall into these trappings? One is getting an increase in salary without a plan. You cannot fall into this trap. If you know you have an income or a raise coming up, please be sure to create a budget that would fit your new income, and be sure to put some towards prioritizing savings and investments and home ownership in the future, especially if you don't already own a home. Then the second reason why people fall into these trappings is social comparison. We're on social media all the time. We're being promoted stuff. We're being influenced, and we compare ourselves to people around us, keeping up with the Joneses. When we do have the opportunity to have an increase in our income, we essentially fall into this trapping of lifestyle inflation, and it has devastating consequences. Another way people fall in is emotionally spending. They just spend without thinking about it. They fall into impulse purchasing all the time, and that is detrimental. You cannot do that if you want to avoid lifestyle creep. And the last way people fall into this is certainly the lack of budgeting. I mean, it encompasses all of these things. If you don't have a budget, you're less likely to properly manage your new income. You're going to fall into impulse buying and emotional buying, and you're easily going to be influenced by comparing yourself to other people to spend more. So always keep an up-to-date budget and don't fall for social media comparisons. Think about yourself, your goals, your priorities, and what will make sense for you in the long term. So how do we escape this? How do we live an intentional life where we do not fall into the pressures of lifestyle inflation? Let's start with goals. Have financial goals. What do you want your life to look like in the next year, the next 2 years, the next 5 years, and the next 10 years? Is it all about material wealth? Or do you want to say have a fully funded emergency fund in the next year? Do you want to be able to purchase a house in the next 5 years? And do you want to have reached $1 million in your retirement in the next 15 years? That is all possible, and start working your way towards there. There are also so many other financial goals that can be individual to you. So be sure to note this down and work towards it. Next thing you want to do is create a budget. If you don't have a budget currently, you're probably not managing your money to the optimal level. You can use the 50-30-20 rule, where 50% goes towards your needs, 30% towards your wants, and 20% towards savings. I personally do not follow that method, but it is very famous and it has helped people. I personally like to just have my basic expenses lowered as much as possible, have a given category, give myself a limited amount of wants. So my wants is definitely not 30% or even 20%. And I like to maximize my giving and my savings, because those are some of the most important categories to me. You can also try automatically saving, and this can include contributing to your HSA, your 401k, and even maxing out your Roth IRA. You can definitely sign up for the HSA, where they take money out of every paycheck to fund your 401k and your HSA. And because the Roth IRA is after tax, you can set it up on whatever platform you open your Roth IRA with, where they will take money from your bank account on a specific day or a specific amount of times per month and fund your Roth IRA. You can also do this by taking money from a checking account to your savings account on a regular basis to make sure that you're building an emergency fund or a savings account for, say, purchasing a home. And the fifth thing that we can do is practice gratitude, not comparing ourselves to other people. Have you heard the saying that comparison is a thief of joy? That is so true. So learn how to not compare yourself to other people, but instead be grateful for what you have and continue to work hard for the things that you want in the future. But don't be envious of what people have. You only see on social media what people choose to portray, not their real life. It's not representative of everything in their life. So please be careful of falling into that trappings and be grateful for what the Lord has given you in this time. And if you feel like maybe I just have what I have because I'm not working as hard as I should, that's a different conversation. Make a plan as to how to maximize your purpose and your potential potential to earn more, but just not how to accumulate material wealth, spending money that you don't have to buy things that you don't need, to impress people that you don't know and don't even like. That is a sad life. And the last thing is that you want to learn how to practice delayed gratification. I, for one, know a lot about delayed gratification. And my favorite memory verse, I say this almost in every video: no discipline seems pleasant in time, however, it yields a harvest of righteousness by those who have been disciplined by it. You don't have to purchase everything now. You can purchase something for the future. Leave something for your future self. When I used to be in school, I would always cancel my Netflix subscription and then get back on when school was over. And why was that? Because I was like, whatever show is on Netflix, I can always watch it in the future. But my grades that I'm trying to get now, this is my only opportunity. For example, with Squid Games, I could still go on Netflix right now and watch Squid Games. That time I would have been left out of the social loop, but I can still watch it and enjoy it now. Versus this classes that I was taking that semester, I can never go back and redo it. It's never going to be the same. So delaying gratification for the things that you have to do now, for the things that you can furthermore do in the future, is very important. So please find that balance. And it's really hard to find that balance if you lose motivation quickly. So here's how we can stay motivated on the path towards financial freedom. One is to track your progress. Having a way of tracking your spending, tracking how you're doing in your financial goals is very important. If it's really hard for you to budget and track your expenses, you can use apps such as Every Dollar, Rocket Money, and other budgeting apps to really track your spending and also tracking your savings as well. So track them, see how well you're doing, how you're progressing over time. And as you track them, the next thing you want to do is celebrate milestones. When you max out your Roth IRA, celebrate. When you finish your fully funded emergency fund, celebrate. When you're able to reduce costs that otherwise would have taken a lot of money, celebrate. So celebrate yourself, and no matter how small it is, it doesn't have to do something big. It could be something as simple as taking yourself out to dinner because you maxed out your Roth IRA from the year, and that is just beautiful, and it's a way of showing yourself gratitude and appreciating yourself for the discipline that you have been able to stick to. And another way to stay motivated is to surround yourself with support. This can be people in your life, or it can even be platforms like myself where we talk about financial literacy. Listen to podcasts, listen to things that encourage you. When you listen to a platform like mine, where I have an entire playlist on personal finance, I hope you're able to get encouragement from my words, because I have not been perfect in all the things that I do, but I still share my experiences because I don't want people to make the same mistakes that I did, and I want people to have an even better experience from what I've learned and from what I know. And if finance is not your thing and you're not busy reading financial journals, on this channel we have conversations that hopefully are more entertaining than reading a financial journal, and you can still get that information and put yourself on a path towards success. And one of the best ways to stay motivated, I do this all the time, is to visualize the future. You don't want to fall into the trap of living in the future, but think about what life would look like in the future and where you hope to be. Is it just materialistic things? Is it about having designer purses? Is it about living in the best rental in the country? Or does it look something like owning a home, having a fully funded emergency fund, having a great retirement, being surrounded by friends and family without the financial strain, living a debt-free life where you don't feel bondage to debt? That is the type of life that I visualize. I visualize being able to send my kids to college debt-free, being able to pay for their weddings and giving them a good hefty down payment on their home. I visualize them having different struggles than I did. So that's what keeps me motivated. I also want to help people. I look at myself giving, donating, sharing the message with people, and helping change people's lives and their family trees. And that's what keeps me going, because I know the material things in the long run, it brings temporary happiness, but it doesn't bring true internal joy. So be sure to visualize what type of life that you want and how you can work your way to that life. And it is time to bring this video to a conclusion. Lifestyle creep and overspending might seem harmless initially, but their long-term effects can derail financial progress and limit opportunities. By understanding the opportunity cost of spending on wants versus investing in future security, you can make better decisions that align with your goals. Avoiding the pitfalls requires self-awareness, planning, and discipline. With clear financial objectives and a solid budget and strategies to curb unnecessary expenses, you can stay on the path to financial freedom and enjoy a more stable and successful life. This is the perfect time to get on this journey that will put you on the path towards financial independence and financial success. And with that, I'm bringing this video to an end. Thank you all so much. Be sure to like this video if you added value into your life. Subscribe to my channel and ring the notification bell so you do not miss out on any of my future videos. Also, share this video with somebody who you think will be helpful towards. Have you fallen for any pitfalls of overconsumption, and how has that affected your life? And what are your plans to make better decisions in the future? I look forward to reading your comments. Thank you all again, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!